In a game defined by constant motion, he's the master of standing still. Lionel Messi, maybe the greatest player of all time, has a strange habit that has confused fans and frustrated critics for years. For the first 2 minutes of just about every game, he simply walks. It can look like laziness. It can look like he's not focused on the game. It can look like a player who's past his prime, just trying to save whatever energy he has left. But what if I told you that this simple, almost arrogant act is the real secret to his dominance? That this 2-minute stroll isn't a sign of weakness, but a predatory ritual. This is the key that unlocks every defense and reveals their fatal flaw before anyone else even knows he's hunting. For years, the story around Lionel Messi has been one of pure, natural magic. A player so gifted he could win a game with a single touch. But right alongside that praise, a criticism has always followed him, getting louder as he got older. It's the image of Messi, head down, just wandering through the midfield while the game explodes around him. Commentators have called him disengaged. Pundits have questioned his work rate. In an age of sports science, GPS trackers, and heat maps that praise players for distance covered, Messi just doesn't make sense. While players like N'Golo Kante get celebrated for covering every blade of grass, Messi's stats— in fact, it's a famous piece of trivia that in his entire record-breaking career, Lionel Messi has virtually never scored a goal in the first 2 minutes of a match. Not once. While other strikers start the game with explosive runs to test the keeper early, Messi deliberately takes himself out of the action. To anyone just watching, it's baffling. Why would a player paid millions, the captain of his team and his country, just refuse to run? It's a question that started endless debates. Is he saving energy for the last few minutes? Is he just not fit enough anymore to keep the pace for a full 90? The assumption has always been that his genius on the ball is just so great it makes up for his apparent laziness. But that assumption is wrong. What looks like a weakness is actually the foundation of a calculated, intelligent strategy that has kept him at the top of world football for 2 decades. The secret was first really explained by the man who probably understands Messi's genius better than anyone, his former Barcelona manager, Pep Guardiola. Guardiola shot down the idea of laziness completely. He explained that during those first few minutes, Messi is doing the most important work of the entire game. He said, he's not out of the game, he's involved. He's moving his head. Right, left, right. He knows exactly what is going to happen. What Guardiola described wasn't rest, it was intense reconnaissance. Messi is walking the pitch, but his mind is sprinting. He's taking an X-ray of the other team. He's creating a mental map of the field, not as it is, but as it's going to be. In a recent interview, Messi himself finally confirmed it. He explained, "I walk and analyze the opponent's positioning, how they prepare to defend, and where the unmarked players are. I try to distance myself, to be well positioned when we recover possession and start a counterattack. This isn't just a quick look around. It's a methodical process of collecting data. He's not just looking at the defenders, he's diagnosing them. Who's the weak link? Which fullback pushes up too far? Which center back looks nervous with the ball? He is memorizing the pockets of space between the defensive and midfield lines, cataloging every single gap and every potential weakness. He's watching how they shift, how they talk to each other, and how they react to his team's first few plays. After just a couple of minutes of this predatory patrol, as Guardiola put it, he has the map in his eyes and in his brain to know exactly where the space is and what the panorama is. He has already solved the puzzle of the defense before most players have even broken a sweat. So what is he really doing? What does this scanning actually look like? This is where Messi's genius stops looking like magic and starts looking like science. Studies on elite athletes talk about a concept called scanning frequency. It's a measure of how often a player turns their head to survey the field before they get the ball. It's a huge indicator of game intelligence and spatial awareness. During the World Cup, analysts tracked Messi's head movements, and the results were incredible. His scan frequency was found to be almost 40% higher than the average for an elite forward in the Premier League. Messi is taking in and processing visual information way faster than his peers. He's not just looking, he's basically seeing the future. His brain, after decades of practice, is a master of pattern recognition. He sees the game in shapes, the triangles, the diamonds, the invisible lines connecting players. While everyone else sees 22 players running around in chaos, Messi sees a predictable system with holes he can exploit. This lets him anticipate plays seconds before they happen. He knows where the ball is going to be, not just where it is. And this mental work is directly connected to his famous energy saving. He walks because he understands that football is a game of moments. It's not about who runs the most, it's about who runs the smartest. By keeping his physical effort low for big chunks of the game, he makes sure that when the perfect moment arrives, the one he spotted in those first 2 minutes, he has that explosive burst of energy he needs to be decisive. It's the ultimate example of playing smarter, not harder. Okay, that's the theory, but where's the proof? Well, you see it in almost every single game. The first few minutes are quiet. Messi is a ghost, just an observer. Then out of nowhere, he strikes. Think about his most famous goals. How many of them start with him getting the ball in a place that looks totally harmless, only for him to find a path to the goal that nobody else saw? That path wasn't a lucky accident. It was identified 20, 30, even 60 minutes earlier, during his first walk around the pitch. He might notice that one defender always dives into a tackle a split second too early. He files that away. He sees that when the left back pushes forward, the central defender is a little slow to cover the space behind him. He files that away too. Then he just waits. He lets the game unfold, letting the defense think he's not a threat. And then, when the ball comes to him, he doesn't have to think. The mental map is already loaded. His feet are just following the instructions his brain laid out in the opening minutes. The pass is played before the defender can turn. The dribble starts in the exact space he knew would open up. The shot goes to the corner he saw the keeper was slow to cover. It looks like a moment of spontaneous magic, but it's the end of a long, calculated hunt. He's the patient predator who waits for the prey to make the one mistake he knew it was going to make. He isn't just reacting to the game, he's controlling it, bending it to the conclusions he drew, while everyone else was just running. So, the next time you watch Lionel Messi play, and you see him walking for the first couple of minutes, don't see laziness. See the calm before the storm, see the master at work. You aren't watching a player who is checked out of the game. You're watching a player who understands it on a level that almost no one has ever reached. He's not just playing football, he's solving it. That 2-minute walk isn't about rest. It's a declaration of war. It's the quiet, terrifying moment when the greatest player of all time downloads the blueprint to the defense's destruction, and then patiently waits for the perfect moment to tear it all down. Enjoy breaking down the brilliant minds in the beautiful game. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have more deep dives coming that will change how you watch football. Let us know in the comments, what other small details from top players have you noticed that make a huge difference? Thanks for watching. This whole process is backed up by his unique mind and body. His brain's incredible processing speed lets him assess and react to what's happening in milliseconds. This is what allows for those split-second decisions, the no-look pass, the sudden change of direction, that leave defenders completely frozen. Cognitive neuroscientists also talk about his brain's amazing sense of timing. This is the ability to anticipate the timing of events, which is key to his famous dribbling. His rhythm, the way the ball seems glued to his foot, comes from his brain perfectly syncing his own movements with the ball and the defenders around him. It creates a fluid, unpredictable dance that's almost impossible to stop. This mix of supreme intelligence, efficient movement, and a neurological edge allows him to get into what athletes call a flow state, that zone of total focus where everything feels effortless and instinctive. When Messi goes on one of his incredible runs, He's playing with a deep confidence that comes from knowing he's already outthought everyone else on the field.